Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the recent advent, and it's been all over the media, of gay or I think they're saying he's bi, but it's, from what I can see, gay Superman. And this is some huge progressive step forward and is making our society better and more sophisticated or something. In fact, that's bullshit. It's got nothing to do with that at all. There's been a concerted effort by the globalists as they're pushing the globalist project because it offers nothing to white people. White people are the big losers in the globalization project, and white males particularly are the big losers. So they have to be crushed. And what the globalists sort of are clearly doing is they want white people, particularly white males, to have nowhere to go, to be completely boxed in, to be completely corralled off. So they're not to have any heroes in history. All white history is to be trashed. All white historical figures, including, the Winston Churchills and the Theodore Roosevelts, they're all to be trashed. They're all wicked, evil, oppressor, racists and bigots, Nazis, you name it. Every name they can throw at them. So all the historical figures have to be besmirched and eradicated, written out of history or discredited. And they use the most outrageous propaganda to do it. So it just shows that these people are hard to discredit. All their achievements are ignored, and even the tiniest blemish can be found. The people that have done wonderful philanthropic work, for example, they were once found to have had shares in a ship that was once used for slavery. That's it. Finish. Absolutely, you've got to be eradicated, erased from history, statues torn down, and so on. And of course, they're globalist-controlled governments, and all Western governments are controlled by the globalists. Now, they go along with this. You've noticed the white statues being pulled down while police and the authorities just stand by and do nothing. They are ordered by the politicians to do nothing. Yet, if somebody puts graffiti on a George Floyd mural, then it's a hate crime, and the people have to be rooted out and found and punished. So that's the insane world we're living. But anything that's anti-white, that's on the globalist project, and that's what they're about. So they want nowhere for whites to go. There's nowhere in history. There's no movie you can look at that has white heroes in it. All white heroes in, for example, novels are being replaced with black and brown people or lesbians or anything. But the white hero has to go. As James Bond is only hanging on by his fingernails. You've got to assume the next James Bond is going to be a black lesbian or something. So all the white heroes have to be got rid of in novels, but also in, of course, the comic strips. Now the original superheroes most were created during the Depression years when times were tough, and the mafia, particularly following Prohibition, the mafia had got into a lot of businesses, and they were controlling a lot of things, and they had their own way, a rather brutal way of dealing with problems and late payments, things like that. So there was a lot of people there that dreamed of a super justice, a justice that would transcend all human confines and limitations. And that's when you saw, particularly Jewish writers, were inventing the Supermans and the Batmans, and not all of them were Jewish, but most of them were. I don't know what else, Green Lantern and so on and so forth. So these were the guys that thought of Superman, for example, that one of the guys used to go and ogle at the muscle men at the traveling circuses of the day. Goodness knows what he was thinking deep down. But so he comes in as the Man of Steel. So these heroes were invented. They were all white, and they were all very straight and very male, very American, very chisel-jawed, all that sort of stuff. And they meted out justice, and they made sure the bad guys got what was coming to them, and so on. So they were heroes. Kids could identify with those comic strips. One day I want to have the power of Thor, God of Thunder, or I want to have the power of Superman to fly, and so on. Now, if you notice the characters in these heroes, the original Thor, for example, was a a cripple, and he had a special walking stick, and he used to strike the walking stick on the ground, and then that would become the Thor's hammer, and he would go. And so you had the Incredible Hulk the same, slightly built, very, very shy people that are getting slapped around by the bullies and the goons and so on. But I remember there was a TV series with the Hulk, saw as a kid, and the guy, I think it was Bill Bixby maybe, or an actor who used to play the Bruce Banner, I think was the name, and he would. The bullies would have, inevitably come for him and slap him around, and he'd say, "You don't want to do this, really. You don't want to do it." And then he'd turn into Hulk and he'd kick the shit out of them and so on. And this was something that would be tailor made for kids who could dream of, when they were getting bullied or something, that they could turn into Superman, and those hoods were really going to get what was coming to them. So this had a thing, but now this idea of the globalists want. It's almost like they got psychologists advising them. They want white people to have nowhere to go. There's no hero. There's no, whether it be a comic book, whether it be a novel, whether it be a historical figure, whether it be a character out of a movie, a politician, or someone in a major position in one of the white institutions. Nothing, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go at all. And that then saps, as the globalists would see it, then that saps any confidence, any sense of self, any realization, I can do something about this. I can do something about what the globalists are doing. No, you can't. The globalists want you to think you've got nowhere to go. There is not a single politician who gives a shit about you. There's not a single historical figure that we haven't undermined and besmirched. And now, your superheroes have gone gay. They sell it to us, the globalists, their flunkies and surges try and sell it to us. Well, we're just trying to do it because we want to be inclusive and because of misogyny. We want to stop white supremacists. They do it. They're utter and total crap. That the whole thing is structured to crush white people, particularly white males. The biggest threat to the globalists is white males. Now, they thought they had it all sort of settled, and then along came Donald Trump, and it's kind of fucked up their plans a bit. So they're scrambling desperately now to, as they would see it, take control of the agenda again. But part of that is to destroy every single white hero and icon, every single one, and make sure there is nothing left that could be a rallying point or to create any means of social cohesion for white people. And that's what they're about. You've been with Tacitus today, a Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.